Hello everyone and welcome back to the Scrap Zone. I'm Julie, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my process in creating this Wonderland workshop. I am using Cricut cuts and they are all available on Cricut Access. So let's dive right in because I have lots to share with you today. As I mentioned, I will be using the Wonderland paper collection and it's got a really unique color combination. I also drew inspiration from the pre-done kit right here that is also available, and I did look at the sticker sheet for my titles, and since there were 3 beautiful titles, I decided to do 3 double layouts. I'll bring in some gloss spray, and also I will do some ink blending on the pages, and we'll talk about that in a little minute. I couldn't resist but bring in these loose sequins right here. So let's look at where I'm at in the process. So I've gone ahead and I've cut all of my Cricut pieces. I've separated all of the color that I want to use with the pattern papers. And I brought in extra cardstock that matches as well. And again, here I'm pulling that really nice bold title, which is really nice. And then I brought in all of these Cricut pieces. I am going to pull from the sticker sheet for this layout, but not entirely sure at this point. So you see here that I'm showing you I've got a couple of colors that I'm going to use for the base page. So I'm going to use linen right here and charcoal. I think that looks really nice with this pattern paper. Now, when I got to this pattern paper right here, it was really busy for me. But I'm going to show you how I made this work using the top of this page. And it is the same sheet and that nice branding strip. That's going to look really good. And we're going to use this last sticker right here. Now, let's start talking about layout number 1. So in layout number 1, I'm showing you here all of the Cricut pieces, and I did use the function contour to add a little white shadow at the back of all of my snowflakes. Now I could have used all sapphire for these so that they would pop off the page, but I really liked to add that white underneath each of the snowflakes. They actually kind of look like stickers, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make those pop even more with the use of ink blending. So I'm going to concentrate right here at the bottom. I'm going to bring in a little bit of glacier ink, and you're going to see that it's going to make a ton of difference. So I've gone ahead here and I've assembled all of these little snowflakes. You didn't need to see me do that. I've just used liquid glue. And we're going to work on the left side right here. So I'm going to just move everything off, and we are going to add a really nice ink blending effect right here on a diagonal at the bottom of the page. Now, ink blending does take a little bit of time, so don't get discouraged and just work your way up. And I think it took me almost 15 minutes to do all of this ink blending. So you start nice and light, and then you just build on it. And that's how you get that nice, really gradient look on that page. So see how my snowflakes and all of my cut elements really look nice on that background. Now this is completely optional, and then when I was standing up, that's always a good thing to do once in a while, stand up and look at your page, and I wanted to add even more depth to that color. So I did bring in Lagoon ink, and I added even more ink blending, and I just really like the way that it anchors the entire design of this page. So I've gone ahead and I've done that on the left side and on the right side. And it does take a little bit of time, but I really do feel it's worth it. So like snowflakes in a flurry, when I started putting this page together, I was kind of all over the place. But I did start right here at the top on the left-hand side and left equal distance for that 3x3 photo. And then I moved all of my elements right here on the side, and I started to tack down my photo mat. Now, there's a lot of pieces, and sometimes you can get lost, and how are you going to put all of this together? For me, especially, because I don't have any reference when I'm putting these pages together. But I found my groove, and I kind of added a lot of dimensional foam. And here I'm showing you that I didn't take off the backing strip on that piece because it's overlapping the photo, and when I add, or the photo well, and when I add my picture later on, I'm just going to be able to slide that right underneath. Now I am going to bring in my shimmer brush. I've been waiting for this little guy for a bit, so I'm really glad to have it. I'm really happy that they actually put down the name of the color on the top. So you saw me removing that little orange piece, or not orange, yellow piece. That's just how it comes when it's shipped. You don't need that piece at all. So I'm going to go ahead here and add some shimmer. The camera is not really picking up on it, but it does look really, really nice. I guess I could have cut them out of glitter paper, but I just like the difference between glitter paper and shimmer. It just brings in another dimension to the page. So as you can see, I did add quite a bit of dimension with regular foam tape, thin foam tape, and then tucking pieces underneath. I like to use my X-Acto knife when I cut these pieces, especially the ones that are really delicate like that snowflake, and I just give it a few passes. Like, I think I went over it like 4 or 5 times, and it doesn't ruin your piece, and you get a nice crisp edge. So I'm liking the way this is turning out. Let's take a closer look here. So you've got the really nice snowflakes and that really nice blended background right here. I think that looks really nice. The snowflakes pop, and it really anchors the design really, really nicely. So we're going to work on the right hand side. And I don't know about you, but I often put glue where I'm not supposed to. So I'm just double checking here, and I'm going to add my finger or my thumb right here so that I don't add glue to the snowflake, because I don't have my photos right now, and I want to make sure that I don't glue that portion down. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue, and I'm going to line that second half with the left hand side, just like so. And now I know that I can sneak in my photo mat right here underneath, and I'll be able to put in my photo when I have them. So again, I'm using a lot of dimension with these snowflakes, and I'm kind of going with thin 3D foam tape and then regular foam tape, and then I'm tucking some underneath, and I just like the way that they kind of balance off of each other. So I'm going to add this one here, and it's got foam tape. And the reason why I like to use foam tape also is that you can keep the backing, and even if it sneaks over the photo, you can remove that a little later on. So we're pretty much done here, and I did off camera add all of these really pretty sequins. I love the way that they pick up the light and they pick up on the color of this layout. So you've got some here at the bottom with that nice flourish and that really pretty blended effect on both sides of this layout. So let's move right along to layout number 2. And this one here, I'm going to use quite a bit of stickers, which is always nice. But before I do that, I'm going to add my gloss spray in the white. I'm using just one of my shipping boxes so it doesn't go everywhere. And it's a good piece to start with because it's a big piece. So here I'm kind of like high with the spray, and I was spraying all the way down. And you're getting more of a little bit of a mist as opposed to large white splatters. So I'm going to pick this up here, and you'll see that the cardstock will curl, but we'll address that in a moment. So I'm going to go a bit closer here, and I'm kind of doing like a half pump, and you get like a little bit bigger splatters. And I think I like that more. So I'm going to add some here to the little coffee cup. And then I'm going to bring in this glacier piece right here. And you can see here that when I'm doing like the half pump, you do get a little bit more definition with your splatters. But if you want to get even more definition, just take the nozzle off and just tap on the straw and just bring it down close to your artwork, and you will see that it definitely makes a difference. So I'm standing over my box right here, and I'm going to bring in my little coffee cup. And like here on the charcoal cardstock, you can really see it. I'm just kind of giving it a tap. Now I wanted to take a moment and show you how to clean this little bottle, because if you don't, it's going to get all clogged up. So I do use a second bottle right here, and it's just water in here, and I'm going to spray out all of the paint that is still in that straw. See, there's nothing left. I'm going to make sure to clean off the nozzle with a warm cloth, and it is wet. And again, this is a very important step. Like sometimes I do my cleanup at the end, but for these little gloss sprays, you really have to pay attention to them, because otherwise they will clog up. So let's put this layout together. I love this big snowflake. It's a statement, isn't it? So I've gone ahead here and I've pulled out of my stash, like these are just journaling lines, and I stamped them in pewter ink. You can actually draw them if you want, but I had this, so I thought I would use it. And once this page was done, I added shimmer to the large snowflake, and I added once again those beautiful little sequins. Now you'll see in the still shots at the end that I did some ink blending as well on this page. I kind of felt that it was a little bit bland when I looked at the completed project. So let's put these pages together right here, and you can tell that they're curling up just a tiny little bit. And this pattern here is actually really nice. So if you prefer the pinks and the little beanie hats, you can totally go with this side of the pattern paper. But I'm more of a green kind of girl, so I'm going to go with the other side. So I'm making sure here that my glue is right on the edge of that pattern paper piece, and I'm just going to pop that right down. Now normally I would hollow out the charcoal piece, but because it was kind of curling up a little bit, I kept it like one solid piece. But honestly, you can hollow it out if you feel like it, but I just felt that it gave it more stability when I glued everything down. And you can see here that I'm really hugging the side of that piece to make sure that it doesn't curl up, and it just lays nice and flat when everything is said and done. So that goes right in the center, and I'm going to add my little piece here of glacier, and this one too is kind of curling up. So just hug the sides of your piece with the glue, and I'm going to use my trusty T-ruler right here. I'm going to just position that just like so, and I'm going to pop this piece right down. And if you've got your glue right on the edges, it just lays nice and flat. Now when I add my photo wells or my photo mats here, photo placements I should call them, I usually start at the top and at the bottom, and I leave equal distance. So here you can see left to right and the bottom. And then when I put my center photo mat right here in the center, it just fits in perfectly. So you've got equal distance everywhere. I did add a little bit of that zip strip right here, and I'm going to add my title with 3D foam tape and these little guys as well. So this one here is popped up and it's lined up with the bottom of that photo mat, and this one here is just down straight on the page. I'm going to add again a little bit of shimmer to those Cricut snowflakes, and sometimes I just do it on top of a block not to waste the shimmery goodness. And I'm showing you here the completed page nice and close with those little sequins. And you can see here that I added a little bit of glacier blending, and I really like the way it turned out. Now for layout number 3, as I mentioned to you, that hero paper was quite busy, but now that I've flipped it over and I've got the mountains here right at the top, and I'm kind of highlighting that little ski person right there, I'm going to add my little branding strip to kind of complete that look. And I really like the way that this looks. It's not as busy. And this is Desert Rose cardstock, and I would not have thought of using Desert Rose, but it looks really, really nice. So I'm going to add my photos here, and this is where I'm playing with the layout. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to add my title, I'm going to move everything over. And then because of the busyness of the top, I felt that it needed something at the bottom. So I just cut a few strips at the bottom to kind of create a little shelf if you want. And it just really completes this layout and the composition of these two pages. So I'm going to add my photo mats here. I'm going to tuck my little journaling spot. And I'm going to pull a few stickers because there's a lot of stickers left at this point, but they all match, and you can use as many or as little as you would like. So I decided to add a few here as well. And then I've got a few sentiment pieces. And again, once you have your photos, you can really pick the sentiments that they have, but they're usually quite lendable to any photos. So here I'm showing you the completed layout, and I did add some blending here with peach ink, and I really like the way that it frames that title. So don't be afraid to use blending in different pieces or different places on your layout. So see here, just a little bit of ink blending in strategic places. It really just takes that layout to a whole new level. I hope you've enjoyed my rendering of the Wonderland paper collection. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you in the next video. If you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you, and if you'd like to see more crafty projects, I'm going to link a few right here for you to enjoy. Again, thank you and have a wonderful day.